Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aquarius, November 14, 2022. The first half of the day features some choppy energy. While doors may not be opening for you, it's temporary and can help you catch your breath. There can be some adjustments to make before life resumes more smoothly. To be safe, important decisions about money, friendship, and business should probably wait, as you may not be in touch with what you truly want and value right now. Ambivalence is likely today, and you may be in the position to choose between taking a risk or sticking with the familiar, or between trying something different or doing what makes the most practical sense. Even if you feel you're winding up with nowhere to go, you're probably better off biding your time. Later today feels more cooperative. While entirely new ventures might not get off the ground with Mars still retrograde, existing ones can be built upon and expanded. You've likely felt the dark energy creeping in today. Extremely challenging news will likely crop up suddenly for you to face. This is because the mighty Sun, our great luminary, spins through your solar second house of finances and will square off with a crushing Saturn now in your solar fifth house of true love, dating, and children. Sharp drama around money and love will appear, likely making you damage control. If you have children with your partner, you may have to cover a ridiculous and heavy expense for one of your kids. Put aside your ego to achieve greater abundance. It is important to be proud without being prideful about the worth of your creative endeavors and passion projects when the Sun in Scorpio squares Saturn in Aquarius. You could transform your compensation, value, and security during this square if you are willing to break free from the potential constraints of Saturn. If you feel strongly about the benefits of your talent in the workplace, then you could use this square to strengthen your financial and professional security. Being open to compromise is key. A friendly aspect between Venus on the income and Neptune on the job front has given the planets of money and dreams a chance to get the ball rolling on what could be some game-changing days on both fronts. As this separates it is Mercury, also in his final days in your income sector, who steps in, with his smart head for money, making it easier to see how you can turn wishful thinking into reality. Today's aspect can bring a frustrating time for you, as you may not know exactly where you stand. The energy at this time is fluctuating, whereas you like to know exactly what is what. Take a deep breath when you feel frustration brewing, and another, and another. It's important to get aerobic exercise this week, and to stretch out your muscles so they can fill with fresh oxygen. Stay flexible in your body and mind. Today should prove to be an insightful one for you. It's an 12-day and a strong spiritual focus is common with this. Your intuition, psychic awareness, and introspective abilities will all be heightened, making this a good time to think. If this is a workday for you, it may be challenging to focus on the mundane routines, and yet there is always time after work to enjoy the energy of the day. Spend some time writing and expressing your insights, as this activity sharpens your focus. At the same time that the stars are not only aligned on the income and job fronts, but this will escalate over the coming days. The moon is spending its final hours in an adventurous part of your chart aligned with Mars. As well as adding fuel to Mars' passion for adventure, this first visit since the warrior planet's retrograde turn is giving you an early sense of what you might want to revisit. While the moon will not only move on but end the day in your career sector, this is something that is here to stay. After a friendly aspect to Saturn for the first time since his direct turn in your romantic sector yesterday, the moon is spending its final hours in an adventurous part of your chart aligned with Mars, for the first time since his retrograde turn here. This is a window into planets that may have both changed direction over recent weeks but are still working to keep a mix of nostalgia, romance, passion, and adventure alive. Our eyes in the sky. Saturn squares the Sun early this morning, and will have a greater sense of responsibility, duty, and structure. Attention will be focused on doing the most practical thing and whatever makes the most sense. Our emotional nature will ease into a more intense vibe. We could withdraw from socializing with loved ones and acquaintances. It can be harder to hold conversations under this influence, and avoiding important talks could lead to arguments. You will make a terrific new friend related to your job in some way. This valuable resource will be more important to you than you realize. This person is a little strange and awkward, but overall, he or she has valuable information that you can benefit from. What makes this a potential game changer and an opportunity for a major breakthrough for both you and your relationships is that this is the first total lunar eclipse in Taurus in 2 decades. What adds to this is the fact that the lunar eclipse peaks just as the moon aligns with Uranus, the planet of surprise, synchronicity, and the unexpected, and as the Sun and Mercury, the planet of communication, are aligned in your relationship sector. This is the right trigger at the right time. Someone you work with will unexpectedly need your help. It is not necessary for you to completely drop everything for this person, but you should indeed try to help him or her. Work together and you will reach great success. Someone will pick you up and take you under his or her wing. This extra support will be of great benefit to you now. Don't resist this assistance. This boost is the exact key that you are looking for. Together you can soar to new heights. Protect your energy if you have to at this time. Be aware of your perspective amid other opinions. During this transit, we could be more likely to sacrifice our own needs and let people push their agendas on us. Focus on yourself to avoid uncomfortable moments with others at this time. Just after midnight, the Sun squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, putting us in a heavy headspace. We feel restricted, unable to act the way we want to. While the Sun is in Scorpio, all our desires and passions come into sharp relief. Yet, Saturn reminds us that we have obligations to others. It is not always about us, and we must work to earn our keep. It can also seem as though we are up against the clock now. Deadlines or time limits provoke extra stress, and instead of rising to the task, we look for vices to distract us. We are not above creating chaos, pulling the fire alarm to get out of taking the exam, so to speak. But our duties aren't going away. If we rise to the occasion, we can exit this period with a feeling of accomplishment. If we avoid our responsibilities, they will only catch up with us at a later date. This is something that at this time of year can energize both sides of the financial fence and act as a trigger. However, both sides are so ripe with potential and support, it was only ever going to take the smallest trigger, and this is the granddaddy of them all. This could have unexpected implications across the income, work, and career fronts, while a real breakthrough is possible on both sides of the financial fence. It is in the second half of the week that things will start to settle. Following this, the Gemini moon squares off with Neptune in Pisces, causing us to misread interactions and deceive ourselves. Our idealistic nature can be taken advantage of by those who sense our confusion and vulnerability. Yet, we are typically the ones who volunteer ourselves for disappointment by putting our trust in the wrong people. Exercise discernment to avoid compromising yourself.